Alright guys, I'm going to be doing quiz review number 5 today, and I'm going to be doing question number 10. I'll read the prompt for you guys. Tiny is a scrawny guy weighing barely 120 pounds. For years he has worked as a lifeguard and aquatics instructor teaching adults to swim. One summer, Hercules Ulysses Leonidas King, aka Hulk, takes Tiny's swim class. Hulk is a miserable failure and never learns to swim. He asks for his money back, but Tiny refuses. Later, Hulk sees Tiny walking in the neighborhood. Hulk yells, "Hey you, nobody steals from me. Either give me my money right now or I'll break every bone in your body." Tiny launches himself into a full sprint in the opposite direction. Hulk pursues him. Hulk is gaining on Tiny and almost catches up to him, all the while yelling, "You're dead, you damn thief." As a last act of desperation, Tiny cuts into a stranger's backyard and leaps into the deep end of the person's swimming pool. Hulk is furious that he can't get to Tiny, and eventually he goes away. The homeowner sues Tiny for trespass to land. What is the likely outcome of this lawsuit? Okay, so we have 4 options. The first one is the one that I picked as the answer, and I got it right, but we're going to go ahead and go through all of them. The homeowner will prevail because his property has been converted. So on page 43 of our textbook, we have that conversion is similar to trespass to chattels as it involves an intentional interference by the defendant to plaintiff's property. However, this tort goes one step further. Trespass to chattels involves an intentional interference, but the plaintiff retains possession of his or her property. In the tort of conversion, the interference is such a substantial nature that the plaintiff is deprived of his property and the defendant converts the property to his own use. So the interference is not so substantial. He just landed in his pool while trying to avoid someone who was chasing him. So I just moved on to the next one I wanted to see what one seemed better fitting for this one. Public necessity is on page 59 of our textbook. And on page 59, we have that the defense of necessity does not involve an excuse for the defendant to cause harm to the plaintiff in order to prevent a threatened injury from some force of nature. The defendant may harm the property interests of another person where it is necessary to prevent great harm to himself or other people. So he's able to harm somebody's property if it is to protect himself or other people. And he's preventing great harm from Hulk because Hulk is saying that he's going to break every bone in his body and is saying that you're dead, you damn thief. And so, but for public necessity, if the action is used to protect a substantial number of people, then the privilege is said to be that of public necessity. He was only trying to protect himself in the situation, so I wouldn't consider it public necessity. And then the last one, self-defense. Self-defense is on page 55 of our textbook. And self-defense states, the privilege of self-defense has been handed down for centuries. The law has recognized the need to excuse defendants' actions if they're based on the necessity to take reasonable steps to prevent harm to themselves, to someone else, or to property. So he's trying to take reasonable steps to prevent harm to himself by jumping into the pool. But I think that the homeowner and Tiny both have a case here in the fact that the homeowner's property has been trespassed upon, and Tiny was also acting in self-defense and trying to prevent harm for himself. So I think that Tiny does have a defense, but he will still have to likely pay damages due to the fact that he was trespassing on someone else's land. So that's the answer that I selected, and that's what I got right. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Thank you.